confidential. We don't know what it will bring. The modern prison key in Alabama, Exuma, run Bahamas, Ryland. Now for the capital, Carmichael Road, Corbin Road. Now for Village and Coconut Grove. Communities all over the place, disregarding this bohemian dream. Confidential, it's a confidential thing. This matter is serious, we don't know what it will bring. Confidential, we must regulate this thing. Confidential, we don't know what it will bring. Lord, 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 Lord. Oh yeah. All right. Now I have been job working down the street. I respect government, I did not get insurance. Foreigners coming from all over, doing their own thing with a different culture. This thing been going on a little too long. We got to take a stand for our native land. Say how much they love this Bahamas land, cause they all want to be Haitian Bohemian. Confidential, it's a confidential thing. This matter is serious, we don't know what it will bring. Confidential, we must regulate this thing. Confidential, we don't know what it will bring. The modern prison key in Alabama, Exuma, run Bahamas, Ryland. Now for the capital, Carmichael Road, Corbin Road. Now for Village and Coconut Grove. Communities all over the place, disregarding this bohemian dream. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Lord, 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 we've got to stop this thing. We've got to regulate. Oh yeah, it's over. Grand Bahama and Rock. Lord, oh yeah, come on.
Tonight, more details on that indictment of Eric Gardner. Also, an American man charged with illegal landing. And later, an increase in car fees. We've got the latest on this. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janaea Noel. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight, a Bahamian man at the center of an explosive U.S. drug trafficking case has taken a major step in a federal court, a development that is already reverberating far beyond the courtroom. As new questions emerge about the case, Prime Minister Philip Davis is also finding himself forced to respond to more allegations tied to the convicted felon. Arlington Ritchie Jr. has the details tonight.
Hours after Jonathan Eric Gardner pleaded not guilty in United States court following an unsealed indictment, Prime Minister Philip Davis denying allegations that the Progressive Liberal Party is assisting the convicted drug trafficker with legal fees.
Are you able to say, Mr. Prime Minister, whether the government or any of its emissaries is paying for the legal services now being provided to Mr. Jonathan Eric Gardner?
I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole that this young man wants us to go. Yeah. I indicated that line item, right, is set up for the payment of legal services provided to the government of the Bahamas, not any individual.
The Free National Movement sought that answer after examining line items within the Office of the Attorney General's budget referencing allocations for consultant services on legal matters. The fallout of Gardner continuing after he pleaded not guilty in the United States court, setting the stage for another legal battle more than a decade after he was released from U.S. custody and deported to the Bahamas. Back in 2014, Gardner was freed from prison. However, on Wednesday, he was slammed with 5 counts in an unsealed indictment: cocaine importation conspiracy, firearms use, carrying, and possession of firearms conspiracy. All counts allege that on or about in May 2021 to May 2026, Gardner, also known as Player, intentionally and, quote, combined, conspired, and confederated and agreed together on with each other to violate the laws of the U.S. Officials say Gardner allegedly used an aircraft registered in the United States to manufacture, distribute, and possess with the intent to distribute illegal substances. On board the aircraft was 5 kilograms and more of mixtures and substances containing a detectable amount of cocaine. The indictment also revealing Gardner allegedly used and carried firearms and in furtherance of such crime would and did knowingly possess such firearms. But how did Gardner once again found himself in the hands of U.S. authorities? An election day plane crash while en route to Grand Bahama from Marsh Harbor, Abaco, saw the U.S. Coast Guard rescue survivors, one of them Gardner, a man who the U.S. was reportedly awaiting to nab. Despite critics who argues government response to the incident, the nation's chief sought to defend what many consider unclear responses.
Without the facts, it achieves nothing to continue to speculate via press statements, political point scoring, or social media commentary. Allegations of this gravity are far too serious to be cheapened into a cycle of accusation, speculation, and spectacle.
As for Gardner's future, federal prosecutors are seeking the forfeiture of assets allegedly linked to Gardner's suspected criminal activities, including any property believed to have been obtained through the alleged offenses or used to facilitate them. Court documents also seek the seizure of firearms and ammunition prosecutors claim are connected to the case. Additionally, the indictment contains a substitute assets provision allowing authorities to pursue other property owned by Gardner if the alleged proceeds of the crime cannot be located. Additionally, the indictment contains a substitute assets provision allowing authorities to pursue other property owned by Gardner if the alleged proceeds of the crimes cannot be located, have been transferred to third parties, or moved beyond the court's jurisdiction. Gardner will also stand in U.S. courts again on June 24th. He remains locked away in the Metropolitan Detention Center in New York. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Meanwhile, the Office of the Prime Minister rejecting what officials have called inaccurate information connecting Prime Minister Philip Davis to an aircraft now at the heart of the Election Day plane crash, which sparked a political firestorm. The allegation suggests that Davis flew on that plane in question. OPM officials, however, sought to make it clear that that is not the case, while also clarifying that the pilot involved in that Election Day crash, Ian Nixon, who was previously convicted on cocaine-related charges, flew the nation's leader during an earlier period when he utilized the services of Pineapple Air. It comes as government faces sustained scrutiny over the plane crash, which led to the arrest of convicted Bahamian drug trafficker Jonathan Eric Gardner, whose prosecution has raised questions and concerns on the Davis administration's alleged ties with Gardner. On to some other news tonight. An American boat captain charged in court today for bringing 6 passengers into the country illegally. Acting Assistant Director of Immigration Chad Adams telling Eyewitness News that authorities intercepted that vessel, all of whom were found to have breached proper entry protocols.
The work of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force Harbor Patrol Unit, who were conducting operations in the area, I would have discovered this vessel with captain and passengers on board who would have not conduct clearance with the Immigration Department. And so they would have brought them into port and have them turned over to our officers at the Prince George Wharf for further investigation. Our investigation would have discovered that these individuals would have been in the country from last week, Thursday, and they had not cleared the custom of the Immigration Department. They had not gone before our officers. And so we would have held the captain responsible. He was prosecuted before the courts today, where he was prosecuted for 6 counts of knowingly assisting illegal passengers. He would have received $2,000 fine on each count, giving him a total fine of $12,000.
Immigration officials continuing to stress the importance of complying with the country's entry regulations, especially during these summer months when boating activities are on the rise.
We've discovered this is the summertime, and we realized that a lot of our boaters are going to be coming in, and we've seen quite a few instances of individuals who come into our waters and not seek clearance from immigration or customs. We just want to send a clear message that we invite tourists here on our waters, but we also are responsible for the complete Commonwealth. And so we have officers that are monitoring. We have fellow agencies like the Defense Force and the Police who have marine units. We assist them as well in monitoring our waters. And if you are found to not have cleared immigration while entering our waters, we will have to do what we need to do to send a strong message. And that is what we did today.
Meantime, 114 Haitian migrants were repatriated today, including women and a child. They were escorted from the Carmichael Road Detention Center to the Lyndon Pindling International Airport, where they boarded a Bahamas Air flight to Haiti. Authorities say self-deportation can spare individuals from detention and removal proceedings while preserving the possibility of future lawful travel to the Bahamas. Meantime, the walls appear to be closing in on a Royal Bahamas Defense Force leading mechanic Raymond Russell, who now faces the prospect of being removed from the force following his arraignment on one serious cocaine-related charge. The RBDF Commodore Floyd Moxey revealing that Russell had previously indicated a desire to leave the force before later withdrawing that request. Moxey's comments coming just days after Russell was charged alongside Police Inspector Alcott Forbes and Corporal Brendan Dean with conspiring to import, export, and possess cocaine. While the two police officers have already been interdicted from duty, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force says its own process is now moving forward.
Now, upon initial receipt of information from the police, our counterparts, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force Intelligence and our Internal Affairs Unit was assigned to coordinate with the police and assist in advancing this investigation. But notably, this Marine in question had previously requested to be discharged from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, and he was on leave exhausting his outstanding vacation leave. Now, he later submitted an application to rescind that request for discharge. However, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force has initiated the process to have him discharged, and that is subject to ministerial approval. And so this action is basically consistent with the Royal Bahamas Defense Force approach to matters involving members who are charged with these type of offenses. We need to maintain the integrity of this Royal Bahamas Defense Force, and so we are taking swift action to have him discharged.
Well, Russell's arraignment comes just months after former Royal Bahamas Defense Force Chief Petty Officer Darren Roker pled guilty to cocaine-related charges in the United States after being fired from the force in connection with an explosive federal indictment. The back-to-back cases have only heightened concerns about the potential for law enforcement and security officials to abuse their positions of trust to facilitate the drug trade. But the Commodore insists the organization is not wavering in its response, saying the force remains committed to a zero-tolerance approach when it comes to misconduct within the ranks.
We work with our international partners in the narco trafficking arena, and we always want to assure them that we are doing all that we can to ensure that our people continue to be resolute, that they maintain the high standard of honor, respect, devotion to duty, and that they continue to do the right thing.
While the controversy surrounding government's pre-election spending remains unsettled tonight, the opposition wanting to hold the government accountable and for it to be candid about what its members say was an attempt to influence voting outcomes. Our Jose Etienne has the details tonight.
Prime Minister Philip Davis is facing renewed scrutiny over the distribution of more than $200,000 in government-funded gift certificates in Abaco after he refused to directly answer questions from opposition members of parliament during budget debate on Wednesday. Challenged by Long Island MP Dr. Andre Rollins about the vouchers, which were distributed in the names of PLP candidates and officials in the weeks leading up to the general election, Davis sidestepped the issue and instead turned his attention to what he suggested were similar actions taken by then FNM candidate Michael Pintard ahead of the 2012 general election.
You asked Marco City what was done in the 2012 election in Cat Island when he was the candidate. I still have all the receipts. I still have all the letters that were issued even on election day for him.
Opposition leader Michael Pintard, however, quickly rejected the comparison, accusing the Prime Minister of attempting to deflect from legitimate questions about the use of public funds.
What he is saying is completely false. I mean, the member for Cat Island is really the poster child for patronage. He's never missed an opportunity to incentivize voters by depositing substantial sums at various stores, Cat Island, Rumkins, and Salvador.
The matter dominated portions of the House of Assembly debate as Rollins took aim at comments made by North Abaco MP Kirk Cornish, who praised the government's approach to family island development and insisted the Davis administration does not discriminate in the delivery of assistance. Rollins, however, argued that the voucher program raises serious questions about whether public resources are being used in a manner that provided political advantage.
The FNM, the COI, or any independent candidates did not get vouchers with their names on it paid for by the public treasury. And it is a disgrace that that was allowed to be done under your administration.
The controversy has lingered for weeks. Premier Importers Chief Executive Officer Chris Leder previously confirmed that the Ministry of Finance paid for the gift certificates issued by his company. During the election campaign, Davis declined to address questions about the program. Days later, PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell defended the distribution of the vouchers despite criticism that the move appeared to blur the line between government assistance and political campaigning. The issue has been further complicated by events in Grand Key Abaco, where residents saw electricity bills reduced to zero just weeks before the general election, following a visit by the Prime Minister, who promised relief for that community. While government officials maintain that no laws were broken, questions persist about the timing of the decisions and whether existing rules provide sufficient safeguards against the political use of state resources. Even Energy Minister JoBeth Colby Davis appeared unable to explain the Grand Key Bill Relief Program when questioned this week.
I don't know. I'll have to get BPL to provide me some details surrounding what you're referring to.
With no clear explanation from the government and growing demands for greater transparency, the debate has once again reignited calls for campaign finance legislation and stronger election oversight. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Well, an increase in fees for licensing of certain vehicles and a push toward a fully cashless road traffic department are among the changes motorists can expect in the months ahead. Transport Minister Leon Lundy says the measures form part of a broader effort to modernize the department, improve efficiency, and enhance service delivery.
Class A vehicles weighing up to 3,000 pounds will carry a fee of $160. Class B vehicles from 3 to 5,000 pounds will carry $215 fee. Class C, the heavier commercial range, $610, and Class D, our heaviest vehicles, $760. For fully electric vehicles, Madam Speaker, in a deliberate signal that this administration is watching the horizon, the fee is set at $125. Madam Speaker, as the world moves toward cleaner transport, our tax policy will move with it. The Bahamas will keep pace on that journey.
Buying and selling vehicles could soon come with an extra step as the government also moves to tighten oversight of vehicle ownership transfers. Transport Minister Leon Lundy revealing plans for a new motor vehicle title clearance certificate, which would require owners to obtain official clearance before a vehicle can be legally transferred to another person.
The motor vehicle and speed limit regulations further strengthen the ownership framework by establishing the Motor Vehicle Title Clearance Certificate, a document that every registered owner must obtain before transferring their vehicle to another person. It brings clarity and accountability to a process that has for too long operated on handshakes and honor. The road traffic fixed penalty amendments, regulations, and the road traffic identification plate fees order, both tabled before this House, complete the legislative picture, ensuring that enforcement has teeth and that the cost of non-compliance is meaningful. Madam Speaker, the Road Traffic Department generates more than $50 million for this government every year. The investments we make in it, in technology, in training, in legislation, and in family island expansion are the foundation on which that revenue grows.
Well, Eyewitness News turned into social media posing the question, do you support government's initiative like reduced licensing fees to encourage electric vehicle use? 16% of participants voting yes, it helps speed up environmental progress. 6% voted yes, but only if infrastructure is also improved. 74% voted no, all vehicles should be taxed equally, while some 4% voted that they were not sure. They would need more details on the full policy and its impact. Well, as a mother still reels from a suspected attack on a minor daughter by a convicted pedophile, members of the public are speaking out. Our Danielle Dean has reaction tonight.
I feel like people should be allowed to know that information, not just to keep themselves safe, but to keep others safe as well, whether it's like children in the community, their own kids.
A convicted sex offender accused of following a 10-year-old girl home has reignited a long-standing debate over whether the Bahamas' National Sex Offender Register should be made public.
Eyewitness News is here on the scene of the Golden Gates home, where a mother Monday night complained that her 10-year-old daughter was allegedly followed home by a convicted pedophile who then proceeded to write these notes on the gate of their home.
And I do believe 100% that the sex offender registry should be released for public consumption, just to make sure that people are aware and they know what's happening in the country.
If you're inside that area or that neighborhood, then you should be able to have some autonomy on how you're able to move around, especially for the safety of your kids.
The incident has once again placed the National Sex Offender Register under the spotlight. Under Bahamian law, the register is maintained by the Superintendent of Prisons and contains information provided by offenders required to report under the Act. The Minister of National Security is also empowered to establish regulations governing how information is entered into the system. But unlike some jurisdictions abroad, the Bahamian register is not publicly accessible. That has left some residents questioning how they can protect their families if they do not know whether a convicted sex offender is living in their neighborhood.
This is something we need to take seriously in our society because, trust me, we have the kids. Come on, kids. I have a child and daughter, and trust me, I feel that something needs to be done.
So you would know what areas to be careful of, or if you see them out in public, to hold your child close.
Others, however, warn that making the list public could create new risks, including retaliation, harassment, or possible vigilante justice against offenders who have already served their sentences.
I do think that the list is there to also protect the persons. We do have too many guns on our streets as is, and one day someone might decide to wake up and go looking for the persons, and then you have another set of violence on the street. So it's a complex question.
The man in question was said by BDOC's officials to not be on the sex offender registry due to the fact his sentence was in 2014, and the act for the register was not passed and brought into force until July 27, 2019. Members of the public also sharing the opinion the register should be retroactive. But for now, the mother says she awaits resolve as police take a closer look into the matter. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
Well, we've added another access point to make sure you're up to date with the latest news. Follow the Eyewitness News WhatsApp channel by scanning that QR code on your screen or visit our social media pages for a direct link. While you're there, don't forget to follow Eyewitness News on Instagram and Facebook. If you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Ion News hotline 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms, Eyewitness News Bahamas @gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight, but when we come back, an outcry for relief from the business community as members face increasing pressure. We've got more on that coming up. And later tonight, a family of 12 still reeling after their Nellie lost everything in a suspected fire. We've got more on that right after this break.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
Captain Cash & Co. viral videos have shown you using what is said to be super speed to deliver cash to citizens around the world. Can you explain this?
Those people are simply taking advantage of Cash & Go's Cash Now money lending service, our easy-to-use money lending portal.
How does it work?
Well, you simply enter your information along with a recent payslip, a picture of your ID, and then select your loan amount and the repayment term. We review it as soon as possible. And then once approved, we could have your cash delivered to your mobile wallet, or we could send it directly to a bank of your choosing. Any more questions?
No. Thanks, Cash & Go, man.
It's Captain Cash & Go.
Hey, psst, it's me, Cyndi Lauper. Cyndi Lauper, Saturday, June 20th at Atlantis, Bahamas. Cyndi Lauper. Tickets on sale now at atlantislive.com. And it's gonna be a party, a big celebration. Don't miss Cyndi Lauper live.
The week moves fast. Move smart with KFC. Monday, start with crunchy deals. Tuesday, you already know it's crazy. Wednesday, keep it under $10. Thursday, the Kentucky Crunch for $7.50. Friday, the meal deal for $9.85. Saturday night, we got you covered. And Sunday, no stove today. The fill-up box feeds the family. Outsmart the week with KFC.
Surprise Dad this week with special savings from Grand Bahama Tile's Father's Day pop-up sale. For 2 days only, Thursday, June 18th and Friday, June 19th, enjoy 15% off store-wide. Give Dad that special gift with special savings just for him. Starting tomorrow, come in and save with Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. You're getting the cheapest tonight at Shell, $6.89. Rubis coming in at $7.34, the highest tonight. And Esso, $7.07 of new gas prices tonight as they're reaching a new high, with the nation's average now sitting at $7.08 per gallon. It's now slamming businesses who are already dealing with what they call unreliable power service and the increased cost of oil driving up transport costs. The CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, Dr. Leo Roll, says it leaves businesses with minimal options to turn over a profit.
Set the cost of this increase by increasing the cost of its goods and services, which is inflation. Or the converse can happen, where perhaps if costs become overbearing, they will sort of do a downsizing of their staff complement to supplement. Or some businesses may hold the fort and say, no, we'll continue to take a cut on the front end relative to our profit and allow for our staff to still be paid, all of our obligations to be paid, our prices to remain consistent, and then as prices begin to gradually kind of stabilize and then start to reduce again, then we'll begin realizing the profits that we were at before.
Roll asserts the economic climate makes doing business in the Bahamas difficult, something he hopes can change before business owners are forced to adjust in the current state.
At this present time, I know it's not easy. Well, it's really never easy to run a business because you think of all of the ancillary considerations that a business owner has to face. But I will say right now, the ease of doing business is just not there. And so what it means then is that from a government standpoint, I think more can be done, but also from the business owner standpoint, more, what I would say, unique and sort of strategic measures can be put in place to ensure that businesses are able to kind of weather their own, especially in these difficult times with increases and instability relative to supply or instability relative to gas prices or imported inflation that we kind of get by way of the U.S. and other jurisdictions when they sneeze and we catching a cold.
On to some other news tonight. Local jet ski operators are finding support from an unexpected voice in the wake of the U.S. Embassy's safety alert. A South Florida-based jet ski operator is now defending many of his Bahamian counterparts while calling for greater collaboration to address industry-wide safety concerns. Our Laurencia Smith has the details tonight.
An American jet ski operator is coming to the defense of Bahamian water sport providers, pushing back against a U.S. Embassy advisory here in the Bahamas that warned travelers about safety concerns associated with some jet ski rentals at Bahamian beaches. Owner of Jet Ski FL, John Rosen, says the advisory does not reflect the reality of the industry as a whole, argue that the vast majority of operators prioritize safety, provide positive experience for thousands of visitors each year. With millions of tourists visiting the Bahamas annually, jet ski remains one of the country's most popular water sport attraction. Rosen, who has spent some 10 years in the industry of water sport, acknowledged that safety challenges exist, but says those issues are not unique to the Bahamas and can be found in tourism markets across the United States as well.
Bicycle accidents that led to hospitalizations, over 200 deaths. So if they want to tell people to stop renting jet skis in the Bahamas, they better start telling people to stop riding bikes in South Florida.
The advisory referenced reports of accidents, unsafe practices, and alleged sexual assaults involving some operators between the period of 2024 to 2026, including claims made by 2 American women this year alone. However, police reports reviewed by Eyewitness News show no reports of jet ski-related rape cases involving American women in the Bahamas this year. Paradise Island operator Delvin Ferguson says responsible business owners should not be painted with the same brush as those who fail to follow the rules.
It's a very, very small fraction. Like new people coming in the industry now, not like the old veterans.
Rosen says he plans to meet with local operators in the coming days ahead to discuss the industry challenges, explore ways to improve safety standards and public confidence.
You do in emergency situations, if you capsize or get maybe seaweed stuck in the intake, things like that, we're going to continue to review and make sure that they have the same type of education that I have back in Fort Lauderdale.
Ferguson welcomed the support, saying many families depend on the industry for their livelihoods and that responsible operators have shared interest in protecting both visitors and the reputation of the Bahamas.
We take care of our families. Sometimes no dollar makes. It's hurricane season, so we are thankful that he came and showed support.
Meanwhile, authorities continue to ramp up efforts at the local beaches where jet ski operators serve from, with members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, Royal Bahamas Defense Force, and Port Department have been working together to strengthen oversight and improve safety compliance within the industry. Now, the operators maintain that they understand that the embassy has a job to do to protect its citizens. However, they say that they want them to understand that their negative press could have a major impact on their livelihood. For some of them, they say they have invested millions, and that's something they don't take for granted. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Meantime, a family of 12 tonight coming to terms with a devastating loss after a fire now believed to have been deliberately set reduced the home they spent nearly 15 years building to charred rubble. This as police investigate what they suspect is a case of arson. The family now left searching for answers, shelter, and a way forward. Rebecca Bain has their story tonight.
I was at work and then my phone rang. When I answered, my neighbor said, "You need to come home now. The house is on fire." And I was like, "What?"
A domestic dispute between 2 lovers has left far more than a relationship in ruins. For Robin Pierre and her family, the fallout has been devastating. A fire allegedly sparked next door has left 12 people without a place to call home. Police say witnesses reported seeing a woman carrying a plastic bottle containing a brown liquid believed to be gasoline, moments before flames erupted from the building. That woman, a 39-year-old, is now in police custody as investigators continue their probe. Pierre says the couple at the center of the dispute were her neighbors, and what happened next, she says, is something she will never forget.
I had to run down to the house, and when I was running, like everything just felt like it was leaving my body because all I could see was smoke. And what was going through my mind was that, was my parents okay? Was my nieces and my kids okay?
The family had lived in the 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home for nearly 15 years. Returning to the property after the fire was an emotional experience as they walked through rooms once filled with memories, only to find blackened walls, charred belongings, and piles of ash.
The home that they knew of is completely gone. There's no more. We coming through Infant View Road, home that has been gone. The joy, the memories. I didn't like it because it was up the stairs, but as the time go by, we started to love it because of the cool breeze. You didn't even need a fan in the summertime because the cool breeze is to make the house feel so nice and cool.
Right now, I'm standing in what was once the bedroom of Robin Pierre. And if you were to take a closer look to my right, you will see the closet where she kept her nursing uniforms. Today, it is completely destroyed, and now she's faced with the difficult task of starting from scratch.
Immediate family, I am the first person to ever graduate with a college degree. And it was such a big accomplishment, not just for me, but for every single person in this family. This is the whom I came to study. And I practicing on them, my nursing skills. Plenty of time I tell them, come, let me check your pulse rate, let me check your heart rate, let me check your oxygen level. I checking everybody just to make sure I was able to pass my classes.
Despite the loss, Pierre says her focus remains on keeping her family together and moving forward one day at a time.
No, because they was crying, but who lost this and who lost that? I said, them, don't worry about them things, they're material things, we can get them later. The good thing is that we are here. We don't have to bury nobody. We didn't have to go to PMA. We prayed after that. And we told God, thank you, because we made it. We are alive.
Those looking to assist Pierre and her family can do so through a GoFundMe campaign or by making a donation through bank transfer. Rebecca Bain, Eyewitness News.
Well, national insurance benefits set to expand to include informal workers. This according to the minister responsible for the National Insurance Board, Pia Glover-Roll, revealing this much in the House of Assembly yesterday. She says the move is a part of her effort to ensure all workers have access to social protection, stressing that every worker deserves security.
They're vendors, tradesmen, domestic workers, fishermen, farmers, entrepreneurs, countless others who contribute meaningfully to our economy every day. Yet, they remain outside of our social protection systems. Without pension coverage, without sickness benefits, without employment protection, without long-term security. That reality must change. We're examining innovative approaches that will make participation easier for informal workers. Flexible contribution structures, technology-enabled registration systems, community-based enrollment initiatives, and other measures designed to bring more Bahamians into the system.
Well, with Free National Movement Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands announcing that he doesn't intend to seek another term at the helm of the party, attention is now turning to who could emerge as the next chairman and the qualities needed to lead the organization forward. Former Nassau Village MP and former House Speaker Halson Mutri says the party's next chairman must be someone who's approachable, relatable, and able to connect with people at all levels of the organization.
I believe what the F&M really need is a chairman that is connected to the grassroots and the black belt, because they represent the majority. And even in the circumstance now where you can see persons being promoted or published in the newspaper every day, gaining citizenship, they also represent the majority in terms of the people who are more dependent and reliant on government activities. So the F&M needs a chairman who can connect to that grouping of people. And they also need a chairman who understands that labor is very, very essential to political success.
Also to come in Eyewitness News tonight, Sandilands Rehabilitation Center, they're celebrating a new milestone. We've got the details coming up, but first, a check on tonight's weather forecast.
In the Bahamas, we're connected by more than just our islands. Now we're connected by Sand Dollar. It moves with you across many digital wallets. It doesn't matter if you use Bank of the Bahamas, Cash and Go, Canoe, Mobile Assist, Money Max, Suncash, or Omni. Sand Dollar, one currency and many wallets. It's inclusive, convenient, secure, and uniquely Bahamian. Embrace the future. Available for everyone on all Bahamian digital wallet apps.
Oh, this is a big sandwich.
I really like the honey mustard sauce. And then like the crispy bacon on it as well.
Oh, it's proper jack cheese.
I love the spice. I love the crunch.
I love the original sandwich, but just that simple addition of bacon was like over the top.
The chicken is really good.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I rate this a 10 out of 10. I'd eat this again.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Be prepared for any and everything when you shop and save at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. President Whole Milk, 1 liter, $1.89. Mullis Ready Cut Macaroni, 16 ounces, $2.19. Boneless strip steaks, $7.99 per pound. Turkey wings, $2.79 per pound. Yellow onions, $1.19 per pound. Whether you're shopping for the week, the day, or stocking up for hurricane season, nobody saves you more than Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
At BOB, we take pride in our business banking.
My name is Olivia Paget. I'm the owner of the Stone Crab restaurant. I chose Bank of Bahamas as my financial partner because it's a local bank. They take care of all my financial transactions. The payroll goes to them. I describe my relationship with the Bank of Bahamas team as very friendly, really working with me as a business owner. And they are very helpful when it comes to giving advice on how to make these dreams reality.
Surprise Dad this week with special savings from Grand Bahama Tiles Father's Day pop-up sale. For 2 days only, Thursday, June 18th and Friday, June 19th, enjoy 15% off store-wide. Give Dad that special gift with special savings just for him. Starting tomorrow, come in and save with Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
What you saying? Girl, right here, rushing to cash, J.S. Johnson. I gotta renew my insurance. Oh, I with JSJ too, but I don't wait in line. I just pay online. Stop it. How you do that? Just email info@jsjohnson.com and say, sign me up for the online service center. They'll reach out and hook you up. You ain't never got to sign in line again. Amen to that. Save time. Pay online. Sign up for J.S. Johnson's online service center today.
Insurance, peace of mind.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. A major milestone for mental health care in the Bahamas as the Child and Adolescence Unit at the Sandlands Rehabilitation Center celebrates a decade of service to young people and their families. To commemorate the occasion, officials unveiling a new library on the ward, a space designed to encourage learning, imagination, and personal development among the unit's patients. Managing Director of the Public Hospitals Authority, Dr. Arbonette Roll, praising the initiative, saying it reflects the unit's continued commitment to nurturing the whole child and supporting their growth beyond the clinical setting.
When persons come for care and continued management because they have some medical need, we have to remember that life still continues. And for the children, imagine they're in a space, they're getting treatment, but there's no other activity. So I think this opens up a world for them to discover themselves, but at the same time, they're still continuing with English literature, English, learning new words, but also having a safe, quiet space where they can meditate, read, and continue to learn. And so I think this is great. I've already started talking with the team on some expanded things that the PHA can do as a whole. So we're going to move forward with a book drive so that we can actually fill this space up.
Dr. Roll underscoring the critical role that the CARS ward at the Rehabilitation Center plays, ensuring that medical stakeholders address mental challenges of children before adulthood, which would require more attention.
Even though we have a wonderful edifice, the main function of this team is prevention and to avoid persons from having to be admitted to the hospital. Overall, in this entire center, there's been a significant demand. This center is no different than Princess Margaret Hospital, where Princess Margaret Hospital sees them first as the gateway of entry and diagnosis. They still come in the acute phase, and so the impact is still here. It's still a problem. As big as this space is, there are moments when we don't have any beds for patients. And so this is why we're seeking with community partners, even with the crisis center and other places, to ensure that we are dealing with the children from they are in the home.
Also come in Eyewitness News tonight, our Laurencia Smith has your latest check on sports. Good evening, Laurencia.
Good evening, Janaea. The Bahamas Baseball Championships is set to open pitch while the Bahamian powerlifting shines in Chicago. I'll tell you more about it straight ahead in sports.
Welcome back to another episode of The Movement, your energy and transport briefing. Today, I'm stepping into the shoes of a crossing guard. Let's see how it goes.
Hey, stop the car. Put the window down. Listen, there's 2 stop signs through this corner. One at the end of the corner and this. You gotta respect both. You hear me, sir? Let's go. Keep rolling. Don't let it happen again. Every day, crossing guards are up and on duty way before you even get up to start your day. And today, I'm going to spend the day with them, rested and double vested, to see what it takes to keep our kids and our streets safe. Heading good.
I've been doing this now for about 6 months now, and what made me want to become a crossing patrol officer is the love for the children, to protect the children, the safety of the children. I've noticed that everybody is always in the heat and rush, and they don't have the full understanding of what is the importance of us doing this job. The importance of us doing this job is for the safety of our children. Good.
That's your $5. You need that?
I have kids of my own, and they're very grown, so to come back out here and help these children along the way and be a mentor, to be somebody that inspires the children, is very, very rewarding for me.
As a crossing patrol officer, one of the most important things that you need to know, and that is paramount, is that our kids come first. And the ultimate goal, once again, is the safety of our kids in crossing our streets. Early in the morning, you have high traffic.
We gotta go. Let's go. We gotta go.
The most difficult part is being able to create a gap within the traffic so that we can safely navigate our kids across the streets.
Driver, please stop your car. You're trying to see the kids cross from there and far. Driver, when you see this, then stop. Because if you don't stop, then your car could drop in a pothole. And like you say, see, I tell you slow down because the children got to get in the schoolyard.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
This month, June, Bahamas Air is celebrating 53 years of service. This is a coordination with our nation's birthday, and it was the intent of the government when they went ahead and established us as a nation that a good transportation system, or air transportation system between the islands, was established as well. It is not just by chance that Bahamas Air and the nation has the same birthday. Over those 53 years, Bahamas Air has expanded itself. We are both a transportation mechanism for in and around the Bahamas, as well as we help with the tourism product and the movement of our Bahamian people in and out of the United States and for the Caribbean. This includes Haiti and Havana, Cuba, and other areas of Providenciales. And the whole thing with Bahamas Air is that it is an icon for the country. Bahamas Air, anywhere we go within the Caribbean and within the United States, Bahamian people as well as others are quite happy and proud of seeing that Bahamas Air logo coming in, especially for our teams when we go to pick them up. But overall, Bahamas Air has been very instrumental in the progress of the nation. Without a good transportation system, we would not be able to progress. Now, we can never say thanks enough for the Bahamian people that have supported our national airline. And so we, the management, our board, our management, our staff, would just like to say thank you. We ask that you continue to provide your service to the airline as we try to do the same for you.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. This is Tourism Today.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Laurencia Smith. Thanks for joining us. We start on the diamond, where the next generation of Bahamian baseball talent is ready to hit the biggest stage. The Bahamas Baseball Association is gearing up for the Andre Rogers National Baseball Championships, getting underway this weekend, bringing together 33 teams from 7 leagues for 4 days of intense competition over at the Andre Rogers National Baseball Stadium and the Blue Hill Sporting Complex. From T-ball to the under-20 division, young athletes from across the country will compete for national supremacy in what the BBA president Clarence C.J. McKenzie expects to be one of the most competitive tournaments in recent years.
We expect a high level of competition. You have some superstars coming from a lot of the leagues. Some of the leagues in Nassau, Freeport. You have some big powerhouses like Freedom Farm who are sending their top athletes. Some of these players are looked upon now as future MLB and professional players. Also, we will be selecting All-Star Weekend, our second annual All-Star Weekend, from the results and stats of this tournament.
Grand Bahama enters as one of the programs to watch after dominating multiple divisions last championships, while Freedom Farm and the Edinburgh Baseball League return looking to defend their titles. The tournament opening ceremony is scheduled for Friday night, with the championship set to be crowned on Father's Day. Team Bahamas put together a strong showing at the USAPL Raw National Championships in Chicago, where JKS Fitness athletes Alicia Turner-Bain and Indira Gibson tested themselves against the nation's elite. Turner-Bain battled through injuries but was determined to finish in the top 15 of her weight class, delivering a personal best of 100-kilogram bench press along the way.
Overall, my performance today, 10 on 10. This was the hardest prep I have ever had. I have had currently still have a shoulder issue, plus a bicep issue and my hips. But I'm just thankful I was able to get something for each lift, and I got a bench PR.
And also reached a new milestone, setting a personal record with 167.5 kilogram squats after making the move to a lower weight class.
I feel like this meet is different because I put a lot of effort into it, and for the first time I feel like even though I didn't hit all my numbers, I still am really, really proud of the prep. The cut was a new thing, so we tried something new, and we're learning a lot from this prep.
Did a wonderful job. They competed hard. They gave their best effort. We left with some lifetime PRs, some platform PRs, so all in all a good performance.
Well, that's a quick look at sports at this hour. I'm Laurencia Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
Surprise Dad this week with special savings from Grand Bahama Tiles Father's Day pop-up sale. For 2 days only, Thursday, June 18th and Friday, June 19th, enjoy 15% off store-wide. Give Dad that special gift with special savings just for him. Starting tomorrow, come in and save with Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
This year, Island Luck Sportsbook sent one of their very own customers all the way to San Antonio to watch Game 5 of the NBA Finals. The Knicks closed it out right then and there. No Game 6, no Game 7. Our customer was sitting in that arena the night the championship was decided. That's the kind of luck we talking about at Island Luck Sportsbook. Winners live here. Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Well, our graduation feature series continuing tonight. We're celebrating Teray Brown and Travon Gator from their home, the Mighty Blue Wave St. Anne's School. Congratulations coming in from your mom, dad, and extended family. Still celebrating school academics. Congratulations also goes out to Cyrus Taylor from your mom, dad, grandparents, and also Uncle Linton. These are yesterday's graduates, those twins from the Maurice Moore Primary School over there in Grand Bahama. There's Teray Brown with his aunt Laurencia Smith, and now the St. Anne's graduation, that ceremony being held today and yesterday. Congratulations to all of the graduates as graduation season is winding down. We love celebrating our little darlings. Well, that wraps up news at this hour. Coming up and beyond the headlines with Shanique Miller. It's a look at all of today's top stories. That's coming up and beyond the headlines. It starts right after this. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Nawal saying good night and be safe, everyone.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
So you want a space
but not just any space. We need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, callers, and advisors on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2026. All rights reserved.
A major crackdown coming to Nassau Harbor. Speeding boaters will soon face hefty fines or traffic tickets as port officials move to stop the often reckless behavior that happens all too often in one of the country's busiest waterways. Also tonight, an American is coming to the defense of jet ski operators. Parents are angry of having to pay an entry fee for graduation. Is it fair? We get to the bottom of it. And it's time again. Of course, you know what I'm talking about, the Metamorphosis Conference. The spearheaders of the annual conference join me this evening. It's all straight ahead. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Already there is pushback from mariners. Many say the speed of 5 miles per hour will significantly hamper their businesses, their tour businesses to be exact. They say it takes them, of course, enough time to conduct tours, and now this crackdown by the Port Department and the Ministry of Transport will make matters even worse. Well, joining me this evening to discuss this are Port Controller, Senior Commander Byrne Wright, and businessman Jimmy Moscow. Gentlemen, hello to both of you. It's great to have you here. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Yes. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Commander Byrne, hello to you as well.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I want to talk about what's happening right now. Why the need right now, beginning July 1st, these laws will be strictly enforced. I mentioned previously that it's 5 miles per hour, but obviously this was not being adhered to, the speed limit in the harbor proper. Has it?
No, Shanique. By policy, the speed limit has always been 5 miles per hour. We are simply just creating a culture of safety by putting it into law so that we can avoid any unnecessary or preventable accidents within the harbor.
Let's talk about what's been happening recently. And Mr. Moscow, you can jump in here because I know this has been a concern for yours for years, that the Port Department, the Ministry of Transport, take care and be able to enforce the rules that are already there. Have there been close calls? How damaging is it for speed to be happening in Nassau Harbor that has become so congested in recent years?
Sorry, is that for me?
Yes, sir. Go jump ahead, Mr. Moscow.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's a problem. Well, mainly it's a safety problem that people going down the harbor too fast create these large wakes that travel into the marinas, and people trying to get on and off boats, they get slammed around, boats get damaged, people will get hurt, and some people have been hurt, but no one, and it's only a matter of time when someone gets really badly hurt. Or even, the harbor's getting busier and busier. And there's a lot of cross traffic as well going sort of north-south. And, the smaller vessels that might dodge across and get hit by a larger vessel going the other way. That hasn't happened yet, I don't think, but it's only a matter of time. And we just have to, and it's not just the Bahamian boats, it's a lot of the foreign big sport fishermen go zooming down the harbor and then just don't think about it. So I think that Captain Burnwright's doing the best he can, but he's got to have the tools to do it. And I mean, it might be marking both ends of the harbor and saying with buoys or a sign somewhere, or, you know, something that says no wake zone, 5 miles an hour, no wake. And yes, it's a long way down the harbor, but if not, someone's going to get severely hurt. And I think and it's a good chance to basically stop people, see if they have a license, to make sure they can carry people safely, because if not, we're going to, as a country, get egg on our face if we got some sort of vessel going to the Exumas with a bunch of tourists on board that isn't licensed. And Captain Burnwright probably knows better about that than I do, because I'm sure there are.
Captain, yes, Commander Wright. So let's talk about that. Mr. Moscow mentioned a number of things. In the Nassau Harbor, there are mail boats operating, there are tour boats operating, there are yachts operating, there are other fishing vessels and which are international as well as local operating, jet skis, a whole lot happening. And he mentioned a lot of crisscrossing and all the rest of it, everybody just going at whatever speed to their destination. Let's talk about how is that even sort of managed, and is there structure to all that movement in the harbor?
Yes, Shanique, there are a lot of moving parts to what goes on a daily basis in the harbor. I wanted to touch on Mr. Moscow's comment about the signs. We're in the process of placing more signs, but there are some signs in the harbor itself. Notably, there's one in the area of the Paradise Island Bridge. There's another in the area of the Warwick Hotel. We do need to put more, and we're procuring additional signs. But the harbor itself is defined in law. It's nothing new. It's been in the Port Authorities Act as far back as the 60s, which defines the boundaries of the harbor. So, yes, that is a great suggestion. We may look to put a buoy that would mark extremities of the harbor. But the harbor itself has always been clearly defined by law in the Port Authorities Act.
But has it always been enforced? Has it been strictly enforced that boaters, whether they be newcomers, whether they be people who know the harbor very well, that they understand that these are the rules and these are the penalties if you disobey or disregard the rules?
So in July 1 of last year, we put into law the fixed penalties. So prior to your question, prior to those laws of fixed penalties being put in place, there was no teeth. We would, from the Defense Force standpoint, we would stop vessels, advising them of the speed, but there was no fine that they could get. Same thing with the port. Port uses boat stop vessels, but there was no fine. But since July 1 of last year, of 25, that is, speeding in the harbor is a $1,500 fine. Now, what we simply did with these amendments is to put in law the speed limit, which is 5 miles per hour, or no wake. Now, by having no wake, your vessel may be making 7 miles, 10 miles per hour, as long as it is not creating a wake. Now, that is in line with international standards. You look at the Port of Miami, they have it similar, where it's idle speed or no wake. Around the region, Barbados has something similar, Jamaica has something similar. So this is not something new that we're experimenting with here in the Bahamas. And what we also did was to put into law safe speed.
Mm-hmm.
The definition of safe speed, which allows the operator of a vessel, the speed that he's moving at, he's able to take action to avoid collision. So the law, the amendment puts into perspective what is safe speed. It gives the 5 miles per hour or no wake. And all of this is geared towards promoting a safe boating environment. Right? As you mentioned earlier, there are lots of activity that goes on in the harbor. Many years ago, there wasn't as much, but if you look at the development, in the harbor itself, there's marinas. People are spending millions of dollars developing marinas. There's Nassau Cruise Port.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Arawak Port development. There's even now the private destination for Royal Caribbean, and many other things.
So it's even that much more busy in the port, in the harbor there. Mr. Moscow, I see what you're talking about. I want to talk about, before I ask you, Mr. Moscow, let's talk about some of these penalties, because you would think this is something that's brand new, even though it's strong, that it has more teeth, you're saying, Captain Commander Wright. Why do you suppose mariners are now vexed and angry and saying, listen, you all are interfering with their business, that what these new laws come into effect July 1st are doing and is really destroying the industry?
Well, any prudent mariner would know that the safe speed is very important to a safe environment. It's a lot of safe, right? So you may have to adjust, but with all the activities, developments, we cannot have boats speeding in the harbor at the detriment of others.
Yes.
If you look at what they call the Sea Garden, where they do a lot of snorkeling there off of Atoll Island, there's people in the water snorkeling. You know, there's a lot of activity that we want to start to have people to take boating even more serious, and safe boating, that is.
And Commander Wright, are you able to properly police this area? You mentioned some key points where tourists now, it's a tourist destination, they go snorkel, and perhaps there's even some swimming with the pig opportunities and other opportunities, maybe swimming with sharks, whatever it is. Are you able to properly police these areas to ensure that these additional rules and penalties and guidelines are adhered to?
Well, everyone is resource challenged, but what we do is what we call a force multiplier. We work along with the defense force, the police force, and the port has its own enforcement unit. And what we will also be doing is the use of technology. We would be able to place cameras at certain locations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that will be part of extending our reach.
Mr. Moscow, I see you shaking your head in agreement at the mention of cameras in certain places, so that if one slips through, they are caught by the camera.
I do think Captain Burnwright's on the right track. I think, they use it in the States. You use it, road traffic uses it. They actually send you a bill if they take a picture of your car speeding. And I think that I think that there has to be, and I'm sure he's going to do it, a big announcement that this is it. Anybody not doing the right thing will be fined heavily. And if they get fined more than once or twice, like a car, you take your license away from you. And that's your livelihood. I mean, it's rough, but it's better than killing somebody in the harbor. I mean, that's going to happen. We've been very, very fortunate. And I think Captain Burnwright would agree that hasn't happened, but it's only a matter of time. I mean, thank God chalks ain't flying anymore. That would make it even worse.
I agree with you. An extremely busy harborway. Mr. Moscow, what does a more regulated Nassau Harbor mean for the economy of all that's happening there in that area, and even introduction of new products like Royal Caribbean, like the other things that's happening there along that shoreline?
Well, Royal Caribbean wouldn't be an issue because they're just going across the harbor. But anybody, say, picking up somebody from the cruise ships to go to Blue Lagoon Island or the Pigs or whatever, that's probably going to add another, 15 minutes to their trip if they obey the law. Captain, what do you think?
About roughly, yeah. But this is what they're complaining about, that, it's taking too much time. Your thoughts?
Yeah, but, 15 minutes is, so you leave a little early and from both get there and come back. Once you get through the Narrows and out, then, you head over to Blue Lagoon, you can pick up your speed, but because there's no wake, so there's no vessels, there's nothing really to hit other than a reef. But, but just in the harbor, it's just too congested. It's very, very dangerous.
It is. And
if you don't adhere the law, someone is going to get really, really hurt.
Yes.
And we just can't have that. That's, that'll be on the news in the U.S. It's not safe to go down the harbor anymore.
Oh, you bet right,
we
sir.
We don't need that.
Much less has been in the news in the U.S., and so we certainly do not need any disaster happening where Bahamian or visitor is involved in Nassau Harbor. By the way, there are some fines and fees that go up to $100,000, and so it's a lot that's happening. Many boaters are angry, but I think you'd better listen in, because this port department is intent on enforcing the law, and they have the blessing of a key investor there in the person of Mr. Jimmy Moscow to be able to get this thing done. Yes, Captain Wright, in 10 seconds.
If I may, you mentioned up to $100,000. That aspect deals more with derelict vessels, right?
Okay.
What we've been having is we've been taking for a ride. People just go and buy these poor condition vessels and eventually abandon them in places like Port of Ski.
Yes.
And the government is left with a bill to have them removed. It's a constant, it's a revolving door, and we look to deter people from that type of activity.
Well, we applaud you for that effort, sir, and the hefty fine there, because we know the eyesore that those derelict boats have become at Potter's Key. I know you've done a lot of cleanup in recent years, but there's still a few dotting that area. And so excellent job in what you're doing. Thank you very much, Commander Byrne Wright, Port Controller, and Jimmy Moscow, businessman. Thank you both very much for speaking on this issue. No doubt this will continue, as many boaters are very angry about what's happening July 1st, but we're going to stay on top of it for you all. Thank you so much for joining us. Beyond the Headlines is backward after this.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokes model, and I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Luckily it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. It's big enough now to handle your big loads, Yeah, like your comfort on your blanket. But just look at that. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Stop! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, presses you, and entertains you 24/7.
Surprise Dad this week with special savings from Grand Bahama Tile's Father's Day pop-up sale. For 2 days only, Thursday, June 18th and Friday, June 19th, enjoy 15% off store-wide. Give Dad that special gift with special savings just for him. Starting tomorrow, come in and save with Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
This year, Island Luck Sportsbook sent one of their very own customers all the way to San Antonio to watch Game 5 of the NBA Finals. The Knicks closed it out right then and there. No Game 6, no Game 7. Our customer was sitting in that arena the night the championship was decided. That's the kind of luck we talking about at Island Luck Sportsbook. Winners live here.
Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
Surprise Dad this week with special savings from Grand Bahama Tiles Father's Day pop-up sale. For 2 days only, Thursday, June 18th and Friday, June 19th, enjoy 15% off store-wide. Give Dad that special gift with special savings just for him. Starting tomorrow, come in and save with Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Everybody get up.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in. We're going to jump right in. The Hot Topics panel joins me. Good evening to you, Ellington Ferguson and Howard Johnson. Welcome to the show. Gentlemen, it's a lot to get to, so I want to quickly get to it. Is everybody good?
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas. Certainly, it's great to be here. Good evening, colleague.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Ellington. Good evening, Bahamas.
Yes, gentlemen,
Yes.
you know, at the top of tonight's show, we talked about those boating, I guess, fees and the laws that's been in place and strongly in place since last year, but being further enforced this year. And it's said because the harbor, Nassau Harbor, which is the busiest waterway in the country, needs that kind of strong enforcement to avoid accidents and to avoid major disaster. It's really, really quite the congested area these days with so much different types of vessels moving about for various reasons. And so now this is what the Port Department as well as the Ministry of Transport is aiming to do. You all have seen and heard the pushback from, I guess, boaters and tour operators who say, what y'all doing? We can't be driving 5 miles per hour. That's going to take away from our business and getting our business done in a timely manner. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
Shanique, I always know that there had been some policy or law in place about the amount of wake. And wake is something that when you move fast, how much wave you create. And I observe and I see boaters and jet ski operators and they're just dashing through the harbor. It does not give much space for correction should something occur. I think our harbor is a seemingly narrow one. It's a very busy harbor with yachts and fishers and mail boats and excursion boats. Everybody using this little narrow space, which is less than a quarter of a mile. Everybody's using this narrow space, and for that kind of a speed, it has become very dangerous, very reckless. Boats parked in the harbor and all of that type of stuff. So yes, we do need the regulations to ensure the safety.
And you're right, there are boats also docked at various docking spots and I guess,
some anchored out into the water.
Yeah.
And so yes, we need to ensure, and this is to be commended what they're now doing to ensure the safety of all boaters, all persons using that harbor.
Yeah, Shanique, we just can't go with an unregulated industry and allow people to just do whatever they want. And, you know, once Bahamians get away with something for so long, it's kind of like it's a right, you know, you can't infringe upon that. But it has to be regulated. The thing with that is when you go to regulate something, you know, you got to give up something, right? So you can't be speeding anymore. And the operators are upset because they're saying, well, this is too slow. This is too much of a slowdown. Well, you have to compromise. Apparently, this is the conflict, right? And what's the conflict?
Yes.
A conflict is a disagreement between two interdependent parties. There has to be something connecting you, or you can't be in conflict. Conflict provides the opportunity for compromise. Now, I hope that on the government side, that these operators have been engaged or will be engaged, because it's a big slowdown to go from what they were doing to 5 miles per hour. So maybe there's a sweet spot, right? Come together and let's figure out what we can do. But it cannot go unabated like it has been. But in order for you to win, you got to lose. Win-win, you got to lose-lose in order to win-win. To get something, you got to give up something. So we just can't have it unregulated like that.
Well, you don't want to lose to the point of something that's detrimental happening there in that waterway. Yes. And I'll tell you, Howard, this is nothing new. I thought it was just brand new July 1st. But apparently this law is just a strengthened law with more teeth. And it's only a certain portion of the harborway there where there's total congestion. Now, when you get further out, then you pick up your speed and you move. I'll tell you, in the first segment, gentlemen, you all saw Jimmy Moscow, who was a heavy hitter in that industry and many others. But speaking about this, and he says this has been a concern for him for a number of years, and he's been trying to get the Port Department to step in and do exactly what it's doing right now, and hopefully it makes a difference, and hopefully it averts any kind of major disaster from happening there in Nassau Harbor. Well, meanwhile, gentlemen, an American is coming to the defense of local jet ski operators. You will remember that this week, U.S. Ambassador Herschel Walker issued a warning to Americans and those residing here, visiting or residing, to be wary of taking jet skis. Well, here's what that American has to say. Laurencia Smith has the story.
An American jet ski operator is coming to the defense of Bahamian water sport providers, pushing back against a U.S. Embassy advisory here in the Bahamas that warned travelers about safety concerns associated with some jet ski rentals at Bahamian beaches. Owner of Jet Ski FL, John Rosen, says the advisory does not reflect the reality of the industry as a whole, argue that the vast majority of operators prioritize safety, provide positive experience for thousands of visitors each year. With millions of tourists visiting the Bahamas annually, jet ski remains one of the country's most popular water sport attraction. Rosen, who has spent some 10 years in the industry of water sport, acknowledged that safety challenges exist, but says those issues are not unique to the Bahamas and can be found in tourism markets across the United States as well.
Bicycle accidents that led to hospitalizations, over 200 deaths. So if they want to tell people to stop renting jet skis in the Bahamas, they better start telling people to stop riding bikes in South Florida.
The advisory referenced reports of accidents, unsafe practices, and alleged sexual assaults involving some operators between the period of 2024 to 2026, including claims made by 2 American women this year alone. However, police reports reviewed by Eyewitness News show no reports of jet ski-related rape cases involving American women in the Bahamas this year. Paradise Island operator Delvin Ferguson says responsible business owners should not be painted with the same brush as those who fail to follow the rules.
It's a very, very small fraction. Like new people coming in the industry now, not like the old veterans.
Rosen says he plans to meet with local operators in the coming days ahead to discuss the industry challenges, explore ways to improve safety standards and public confidence.
You do in emergency situations, if you capsize or get maybe seaweed stuck in the intake, things like that, we're going to continue to review and make sure that they have the same type of education that I have back in Fort Lauderdale.
Ferguson welcomed the support, saying many families depend on the industry for their livelihoods and that responsible operators have shared interest in protecting both visitors and the reputation of the Bahamas.
We take care of our families. Sometimes no dollar makes. It's hurricane season, so we are thankful that he came and showed support.
Meanwhile, authorities continue to ramp up efforts at the local beaches where jet ski operators serve from, with members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, Royal Bahamas Defense Force, and Port Department have been working together to strengthen oversight and improve safety compliance within the industry. Now, the operators maintain that they understand that the embassy has a job to do to protect its citizens. However, they say that they want them to understand that their negative press could have a major impact on their livelihood. For some of them, they say they have invested millions, and that's something they don't take for granted. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Well, Ellington and Howard, we heard the gentleman say, listen, bring greater scrutiny and oversight to the industry. We have seen that is in place with Defense Force officers, police officers, various government officials not just at Goodman's Bay, but also Paradise Island. They are now in place to monitor. But there's someone who's saying, hey, these guys are doing a good job and they don't deserve that level of, I guess, warning about the industry?
And it's a good thing to have people who are being warned to come in your defense. That's a very good thing. And I think, I'm not sure what warranted this, what particular incident, but obviously I observe them, I know a lot of them, and in general they do a pretty good job. And like I always admonish them, they got to be responsible to make sure that nobody from the outside come and damage their craft. And yes, I watch tourists every day enjoying their jet rides, the guys out there on a hustle and they making things happen and people enjoying themselves. So while some people will get hurt, some people will rent a jet ski and go out there and ride recklessly and cause injury to themselves or others. And I think the U.S. Department ought to be cautious on these things when they talk about injury that was sustained by someone riding a jet ski. We've had incidents where we've had local persons interact with tourists and abuse them. We deal with that. Absolutely, we'll deal with that. And we have done some things to try and weed that out, and it's an ongoing progress. So I support that, and I'm happy to hear that.
I think I agree with Ellington too, but I just want to take it from a slightly different angle. You're always going to have things like this happen and emerge, but everyone is a stakeholder. And for me, communication is important, right? It is important that when we have situations like this where you're going to have to move the goalpost, right? You're doing one thing, and Lord knows it doesn't take Bahamians very long to feel entitled if you let us get away with something, right? And so in that regard, whenever we have to move the line, so to speak, what we need to do, Shanique, is we have to make sure that all of the stakeholders involved have a say. The American Embassy wants their tourists to come here, have a great time in the Bahamas, and they want them to be safe. The government of the Bahamas wants the same. The jet ski operators want to make a living, and they want, in my estimation, to make the tourists happy and provide a good service for which they are compensated. And so because all of them are stakeholders and they're working towards the same goal, I want any changes that have to happen in any of our tourists or tourist-related industries to involve all stakeholders so they can have a say, because many times we see things happening and then there's an outcry and there's a backlash and people are very upset. So let's just involve everybody and let's get things done.
I totally agree with you. Meanwhile, gentlemen, get this. Parents are questioning the decision by a local public senior high school to charge for entry to the graduation ceremony. Danielle Dean has the story.
As the 2026 graduation season draws to a close, some family members say their celebration was marred by an unexpected cost. Attendees who arrived at the Anatole Rogers Senior High School graduation without tickets were given an alternative option: pay $5 for entry. Trinique Edwards says she was among those caught off guard.
I left, and my mom convinced me and called me back to come back here, said they're letting people in now. And the issue was not the $5, it's the principle. It was definitely the principle, not the price. It was the principle. It's distasteful for them to use such a, I don't even know if I want to say vulnerable, but such a meaningful experience to a lot of families, because you have a lot of those students in that gymnasium, they're first generation graduates, right? Their families came here to support them, and a lot of them were denied and rejected from coming in.
The move sparked frustration among some attendees who questioned why they were being charged to enter a graduation ceremony held at a public facility.
It is only when I got to the front, after standing on the line, then I was told, hey, we needed $5 to get in.
A lot of people had to pay money. They say, well, they only allowed 3 on the invitation, but still, $5 in a gym to the school? That's crazy. That's government property. You all might as well rent a hall or something and then charge it there, but not a government. I don't understand. That's crazy.
But Education Director Dominique McCartney-Russell says the fee was not intended to generate revenue. Instead, it was used as a deterrent for those who arrived without tickets after the venue reached capacity.
They said they applied that fee to really discourage more persons from attending. But, for me, this highlights what we would consider a growing challenge. Our team members are saying that graduation ceremonies are becoming increasingly difficult to manage because many venues cannot accommodate the large number of attendees being requested, and at least not at a reasonable cost. Many of our team members are saying it's very challenging to find a venue that could hold all of the parents and family members that the children want to attend, and that's why they limited them to 3 tickets. And those, to discourage those who would come, they charged that $5.
More than 300 students graduated from Anatole Rogers this year, and McCartney-Russell says the incident has highlighted the challenges of accommodating large crowds at public school graduations. With several ceremonies still to come, she says the ministry is looking at long-term solutions to reduce stress on school administrators while making the events more accessible for families. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
Well, quite interesting, Ellington and Howard, you all see there. I don't know if it's been done before, maybe in private institutions, but your thoughts about the overflow of each student, whomever they invited, having to pay $5 to enter the gymnasium to attend the graduation ceremony.
Shanique, I could kind of understand where the administrators are coming from when you look at, like she mentioned, what graduation has and is continuing to be coming, and I've seen it in graduation and I've seen it in proms. People tend to want to bring a cousin and auntie and Pookie them and the boys on the corner and all of them will come in, and then in some cases a parent and a sister and a brother can't get in. And so they give a certain amount of person on the invitation and allow any additional to pay. I have a problem with that, because when it becomes unmanageable, if you remember on last year, right on this show, we dealt with where we saw parents were fighting. It get too chaotic. And I don't have a problem with them in attempt to managing the crowd. Yes, absolutely. And I support that wholeheartedly.
Howard?
Yeah, Shanique, this is an unfortunate situation. As Dr. Minnesota said a couple of years ago, a quagmire of the web. It's no easy solution, and I can see the merit on both sides. Shanique and Ellington, I really see the merit on both sides. But here's the situation. This is a situation where communication is key again. I believe had this been something that was beforehand said or posted or sent out to the parents and the relatives, guardians of these youth, that if you didn't have a ticket and you showed up, such and such would be the case, I believe it would have gone over a bit better. But for all intents and purposes, not an easy decision. I see the merit on both sides, and it's just so unfortunate that this provided some kind of trauma and some kind of issues for a day that should have otherwise been fun and congratulatory and a great experience for those young people.
Gentlemen, you're both right. Yes, it is a wonderful milestone in the life of any high school graduate and their family members as well. And quite frankly, when you pack out a gymnasium and so much preparation has to go into that, then if they begin to introduce a minimum fee of $5 or whatever that minimum fee would be, that goes towards helping to kind of defray the costs attached. And also, I think it's a level of crowd control that's necessary. We've seen the chaotic displays before, and so now this is where if you ain't serious with business and life, then you ain't gonna show up. It's as simple as that. You ain't gonna pay the $5.
Straight up.
But Howard, excellent point as well. Notify people. There are so many people per invitation. Beyond that, it's $5. Communication, absolutely. Well, gentlemen, I thank you both very, very much. Of course, I love hearing your thoughts and opinions, perspectives on some of the day's most interesting stories. Looking forward to catching up again on another show tomorrow. Meanwhile, though, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, Metamorphosis, remember that conference? Well, it's that time of year again. The spearheaders of the conference. Join me after the break.
Surprise Dad this week with special savings from Grand Bahama Tiles Father's Day pop-up sale. For 2 days only, Thursday, June 18th and Friday, June 19th, enjoy 15% off store-wide. Give Dad that special gift with special savings just for him. Starting tomorrow, come in and save with Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Great to have you all join us. It is the fourth year of the Metamorphosis Community Conference. I remember the first year that DeJaneiro came here, and DeJaneiro, it was first of all something that you were introducing to the nation. You, of course, reside in Florida, but you wanted Georgia, but you wanted to come back and say, you know what? Let me make this kind of impact and pour into the Bahamas, like the community. And this is what you've done. And so now this conference is catching on. Many people anticipate it each year. And it is doing amazing things in transforming lives. And so welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's that time of year again. I remember that you also were here. You wrote a book even last year and that you introduced. Kindly reintroduce yourself to us again.
Hi, my name is Minister Stacia Grant. I reside in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And the book that she's speaking about is Divinity Touch, is a devotional book. And we will have those books available with us at the conference this year.
And so, ladies, it's good to have you all here. Congratulations on something that you continue to build on, you continue to make happen and make more impactful, not just for women, but girls, but really the entire family, all who show up is what it is that you are intent on reaching. And so let's talk about this year's theme, a divine shift. Why the theme this year? Why is it so important? And what do you hope to get across in terms of messaging through the theme, A Divine Shift?
A divine shift, I mean, just straight from I think God, because I believe right now in this time, in this season, God is truly shifting his people into another era, into another time. And shifting meaning that, you know, there is a point in your life where you are going to experience difficulties. However, know that at the end of those difficulties, it is going to be for your benefit. Amen. And so, you know, just as our theme, metamorphosis, mean transformation, I believe that is what God is going to do through this divine shift. He's going to bring full, complete transformation to your lives. And what we expect from this conference is we expect you ladies to be there, to be transformed. Amen. We have powerful speakers. You're going to have meaningful conversations. You're going to be able to connect with other women where you can be mentored. You know, there will be opportunities for mentorship. And even during this time last year, for the last year, Sinead, God has truly shifted our ministry from just dealing with broken and healing women to discipling them, to mentoring them. And that is what this community is all about, creating a safe space that you women can be transformed through and by the Word of God.
Minister Stacy, I want to ask you, so many people feel stuck in many areas of their lives, stuck and not able to navigate and move forward. How will this conference assist them in helping to become unstuck and move forward and realize the divine shift in their own lives?
I say to my sisters out there, as you come to this conference, walk through the door with an expectation to receive a spiritual awakening, to receive transformation, to receive change. You come expecting something, you're going to receive it.
How do people who are questioning their faith and their purpose, or maybe a rough time, you know, how can they tap into this and come out so much better, healed and restored after attending the conference?
We do have a connect group, a discipleship group. We have those classes on every other Tuesday nights, and we do via online, as well as we have a prayer group. I facilitate the prayer group on Friday mornings at 5 a.m. And then we have What's Up. So we can make those phone calls, have conversations, real conversations. And if we have to go into Zoom, you know, we make sure that we have platforms available where these ladies can reach out and touch and we share.
So you're saying it doesn't just happen this weekend in terms of every year.
No, ma'am.
This connection is built upon and continued throughout the year until you meet again in person.
So true. Yes. This year, Minister DeGeneres shared about the young ladies that we're mentoring, and I can share about two that were baptized during our conference last year. This year, I think about 2 days ago or 3 years, 2 or 3 days ago, they graduated high school. Yes. And I'm not gonna put it out there, but I'm gonna put it out there. I was purposing my heart that in this conference this year to pour back into their lives and to their lives financially. You know, not buy them a t-shirt, but pour into their lives financially. And this is what we do. We make sure that our sisters are good. Okay, we make sure if they need prayer, you reach out. You're going through a rough time. We've even had sisters here in the Bahamas. We're in the U.S. and they're saying, "Hey, listen, I got to be out of this place. I got to move in 2 days." What, you know, okay, let us connect with others that we know, you know, in the islands and see if we can get some help and assistance for you. So it's just not a one-day event. It's a lifetime event, life-changing event, and rebuild relationship. It's a community. Yeah. It's a community.
Yes. Yeah, we know that Nassau, ladies, Nassau, the Bahamas, like the United States and anywhere else, the people are experiencing a lot, having to digest a lot, having to maneuver through a lot. How does faith help make these things easier?
I can say, the Bible tells us that if we confess our sins and we believe in Christ Jesus that we are saved, and believing helps us to endure hardship. Amen. Because once it also strengthens our faith, because without faith, it's truly impossible not only for us to please God, but really for us to accomplish anything. Without faith, we can't do anything. Amen. And so it's just as simple as me sitting on this chair. I had to have the faith to know that this chair will hold me up. And that's just how we have to faith and believe that the word of God will truly transform us, will truly do as it say it will do. Amen. And so faith is such an important part, even not only in our lives, but within our whole total journey as a believer. And so we have to and must stand on faith and on the word of God.
Yes. Now, ladies, let's get to the conference. The conference is this Saturday.
Yes.
It will be held at where?
Chapel on the Hill. That's on East-West Highway.
Tony Williams
Yes.
Darling Highway, just off there. We know it.
Yes.
A very, very nice edifice.
Yes.
Right? Now, who are some of the presenters and what can we expect?
Now, we have our Minister Stacia right here. She's one of the presenters, and she is going to be presenting on covenant marriages. We have 4 main speakers, and I called the topics the pillars that women need in their lives, and that's marriage, how to be a covenant wife, right, in marriage. We also have one of the other pillars that we need is finance. And we're going to be talking about stewardship, stewarding our finances. And then we have the other pillar, we're talking about women's health. If we don't take care of our bodies, we cannot do the work of God. And so we have Sister Penniman. She's a nurse. She's going to be talking about women's health. And we also have our sister Stirrup, who is going to be talking about financial stewardship, and she is an accountant. Amen. And then we have our main speaker, our guest speaker. I say Firehouse. Firehouse, our dear sister. Sister. Oh Lord, give me the name. Oh, how could I forget her name?
I can't remember her name.
Yes, Sharika. Lord, forgive me, Sharika. I love you so much. But when you get in these things, sometimes you get nervous and things just slip your mind. But Sharika Brown, I've known her many years, and she is indeed a firehouse for God. And she's going to be bringing the word of called, chosen, amen, and committed. So I say that you don't want to miss it. I want to invite every woman. We also have teenagers from 10 to 18. They're free of charge. Mm-hmm. You don't have to pay, so you can bring your daughters. We believe in, like I say, not only discipleship, but mentorship. And so you can bring your daughters. I believe that the older women has to teach the young, and that is what God is requiring us to do. So, and we're also going to have, for the first time, we're going to have vital checks, amen, from our Ministry of Health. So the Ministry of Health is going to be there. If you do not need to go or want to go to the clinics this week, you can come to the conference, get your vital checks free of charge. We're also going to be giving out light refreshments at that time.
And so now, what time does it start, and what is the fee to enter the conference regularly?
Registration is $25. A registration starts at 9 a.m. You can register online at a Divine Shift Eventbrite, or you can register at the sanctuary.
Just a little slower.
You can register at Eventbrite, a Divine Shift, or you can come in the sanctuary at 9 a.m. and you can register at that time. The conference starts exactly 10 a.m. And so we're looking forward to seeing all of you there, and you don't want to miss it.
Once again, that's on Chapel of the Hill.
Chapel on the Hill.
Exactly, on Tony Williams, just off Tony Williams Darling Highway. The event starts at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. You register at 9, mill about, talk, and get caught up, and then, of course, get ready to have a wonderful time starting at 10. I thank you very much. I thank you, De Janeiro. Thank you so much. Great seeing you again. Thank you as well, Minister Stacia. It's good to have you here visiting again as well. Ladies, have a wonderful time. And any contact information that they can reach out?
Yes, they can reach out at via WhatsApp 809-2262, or they can email us or our website, our church's website at Acts18Church, Acts18Church@gmail.com.
Thank you, ladies, very much. And I thank all of you for tuning in this evening. Thank you so much, of course, at the top of tonight's show, Commander Byrne Wright and Jimmy Moscow, the Hot Topics panel. Thank you as well. And of course, ladies, thank you and good luck and blessings, really more importantly, on Saturday morning and all day Saturday. In fact, they have a whole day, by the way. It's an entire day of a whole lot that happens during the Metamorphosis Conference. I thank you, ladies, once again. And thank you, all of you, for tuning in this evening. It's certainly been awesome having you tune in. I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.
The Verizon Media Group, home of ILTV, Paramount Systems Limited, Eyewitness News, and